Those who are here in front of you have met this morning for prayer. You may have heard the end of the time of prayer. And before that, for an hour and a half or so of discussion and of sharing the experience of the suffering of Christians in Iraq, Syria, and the general region of the Middle East. I would say from my own point of view that the hearing the testimony of those who have come recently from that area or have friends and family still there who are deeply enmeshed in that area, who are standing before you, has been a most powerfully moving experience. Here is the statement which I'm reading for myself, but in general terms has been supported by those who are present. I need to stress that there are many different opinions here, so this isn't signed off individually by every single person. A new situation has arisen, which creates a state of emergency in the Middle East for Christians and other religious and ethnic minorities. The recent increase in violence and aggression has resulted in gross violations of the fundamental rights and freedoms in the region. We gathered today as Christians, including those originally from the Middle East, to stand in solidarity and prayer with our brothers and sisters who seek to practice their faith and belief in lands where they have been a continuing presence for centuries. Looking at it again, I would say, since the beginning of Christianity. The Middle East is the birthplace of Christianity and home to indigenous Christian communities that have been an indispensable part of its history. Despite the challenges, Christians in the region were and are a stabilizing and reconciling presence. Today, particularly in Iraq and Syria, they are at great risk from violence fostered by extremist ideologies which no longer see them as being part of the future. The Middle East is in desperate danger of losing an irreplaceable part of its identity, heritage, and culture. We are seeing an extreme religious ideology that knows no limits in its persecution of those who are culturally or religiously different. Those who promote this intolerance must be challenged, and the perpetrators of violence held to account without impunity. The suffering of those who bear the brunt of its terror requires us to act and bear witness to their plight, whatever ethnic group or religious minority they come from. We must provide relief and safety for those displaced and in fear of their lives, in consultation with our partners in the region. We must also bring pressure to bear on those who can provide security to those affected. In meeting and praying together, we give thanks for our brothers and sisters as they continue to live their Christian faith with strength and perseverance. We commit to continue to stand with them in prayer, to speak for freedom in the persecution of Christians and all other religious communities, and those of no faith who live as minority groups across the region. We also continue to urge Her Majesty's Government to work within the international community to safeguard and provide for all those affected. And some words from the book of Revelation, chapter 1, verse 9. To our brothers and sisters in the Middle East, we use these words. We share with you in Jesus the persecution and the kingdom and the patient endurance. I'd add on my own behalf that, of course, today particularly, and when talking to the press, our prayers and thoughts are with Stephen Sotloff's family during this time, and with all his friends in the press who will be grieving him. We also discussed that this morning, and remember that he is both the latest, most prominent recent victim, but also he represents many who have suffered in that way, who are forgotten day to day.